Alright, y'all, I'm not going to even really spend much time on episode 5 because episode 5 wasn't really much. Episode 5 really honestly centered around the man who pretty much broke into the palace, not once but twice, to he at the end he really wanted to just go and speak to the queen about everything that was going on. He was having trouble in a lot of different places with his life, his wife. Unemployment, like I said, at this time is super super sky high because ain't nobody feeling Margaret Thatcher in the way she's doing things. She's cutting money left and right to like public, public services, so nobody's really feeling her. The way that this man was able to break into this house, this palace, excuse me, palace, two different times. And granted, I understand that they did not have 2020 technology. I get it. But where was the eyes and the ears? Where was the eyes and the ears on both situations? Makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, the way y'all just let the queen just be, just whatever, just whatever, just anybody could get to her, was disgusting to me. But let's just get to the point where he got into her room, because to be quite honest, the rest of it really wasn't that important to me. He ends up getting to her room the second time, because like I said, the first time he went in there, he ended up like breaking something by accident and drunk like some wine, and then he left, which is crazy because he broke in the first time. Y'all knew, and then y'all didn't even do what y'all was supposed to do to up security to make sure it didn't happen again. Y'all dumb motherfuckers let it happen again. So he ended up happening again. He ended up getting in her room, and of course she was scared as fuck at first, but he was like, "Look, I ain't here to do nothing to you. I just want to talk to you." And so he pretty much tells her, oh yeah, I said like the lack of guard is disgusting. And also he did say something interesting. Y'all tell me if y'all from overseas. Tell me, is that the case now or was it like that back then? He said that the queen was like, you're trespassing, and he said, yeah, but trespassing isn't a crime. It's only a crime if I steal something. Can y'all tell me if that's true? Like, is that how it works over there in like in the UK? Like, people can just like trespass all crazy, but like, so you can like sit all up on my yard and shit, but as long as you don't take anything, it's not a issue. Can y'all explain that to me? Anyway, he ended up talking to her, pretty much saying how Margaret Thatcher needs to be removed, and that she needs to be removed because she's not doing what it is that she's supposed to be doing. She's cutting everything that's meant to help, like, people. She's cutting, like I said, unemployment, things for health, everything's getting cut left and fucking right. And how eventually he was like, she coming from our jobs, best to believe she gonna come for your job too. And she was like, how she gonna come for my job? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. He's like, I'm telling you, she wants to be president, and no way you can be president, and there can't be a president and a head of state at the same time. So I'm telling you right now, you better watch your back for her, because she's coming for that ass. Like I said, that's how I see it. He said he's coming for that ass. I like this line where he said, they tried to tell me that I was mentally ill, and I'm not mentally ill, I'm poor. I said, whew, what a line. I could really sit here and dissect that line, but it would take me a long time to really like dissect that. That's deep. I'm not mentally ill, I'm poor. Whoever wrote that, you deserve. That was a good line. So he pretty much, the conversation was pretty much just him saying, like, I wanted somebody regular, not people who be around here kissing your ass, to tell you how it really is out there. It's not all that great out there. They might make it seem like it is, and she talking about a feel good factor. There's nothing feel good out there. People are struggling, and of course it ties into like what's happening right now, at least over here in the U.S., with unemployment is like fucking sky high. I could really go on a whole rant about the unemployment system right now, but I'm not going to. But I could, because right now I'm waiting on something for them. Not me personally, but somebody I know is waiting on something for them, and it's very frustrating. So yeah, so he talks about that, and then she was nice about it though. The queen was nice about it after she got over her and that she was scared. She was nice. The popo ended up coming and getting him. She was like, hopefully they won't do anything too bad. Now it said at the end that he was sentenced to life in a psych ward, which I said, that is ridiculous. But he only ended up doing 3 months, and he's actually chilling right now in London. I said, shout out to you, sir. You wanna know what's crazy? Yeah, London is really, really lax with their laws, because let me tell you something. If somebody, first of all, I don't even know how somebody would successfully break into the White House, but if somebody was to successfully break into the White House and get into an actual, like, bedroom, it don't matter if they opened up their mouth. That person was going to jail for the rest of their life. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That person was going to jail for the rest, okay? For the rest. So, yeah. So, that's just that. Let's get on to the important episode, which is episode fucking 6, okay? So we got an interview. Well, not an interview. It was like a tour, pretty much, that was coming up in Australia. Now, if y'all watched the first couple seasons, y'all know that the Queen and Philip, they did, they little tours and stuff like that too. So now it's time for Charles and Camilla to do. I said Charles and Camilla. See, look how much they together all the time. Charles and Diana to do the same thing. Okay. Now we start off the episode, oh my gosh, with Camilla and Charles, and they just, they have some dinner, all kikiing it up, and they're telling stories, and they're finishing each other's sentences. It's all very disgusting as far as I'm concerned. But the main thing outside of Camilla being like a willing a willing side piece, is the fact that this bitch always has a cigarette in her hand. That's disgusting. Like, every time you see Camilla, she never does not have a cigarette. Is she live in a well today? I don't know how when she smokes that much. So yeah. So then Diana and Charles, they go to the palace to go meet the Queen and Philip and I don't know, somebody's advisor, to talk about the trip, and how it's supposed to go. And, the Queen talks about, how, you guys will have a lovely time on this trip, and, it's gonna make you closer, and, that's what it did for me and Philip. Yeah, after y'all argued and y'all hated each other, God knows, yeah, y'all kind of sort of got along. I feel like when it came to Queen Elizabeth and Philip, they have love for each other, but I think, like they end up saying later about people bending and breaking, I think Philip just, he just accepted the situation. Like, he was not happy. He just kind of accepted, well, this is where we at. This is, this is where it is. This is where we at with it. And I think the Queen did the same thing. Like, we can't get out of this situation, so we might as well just accept it. That's what it was. That's what happened with y'all two. It wasn't necessarily that y'all got so much closer, because y'all didn't even sleep in the same damn bed. Because if y'all did, how the hell would that man would have been able to break into your damn bedroom and nothing happened? He did apologize. Philip apologized for not being there, but regardless. So yeah, so so they end up getting ready and stuff. They get on the plane and stuff, and they talk about pretty much, now mind you, at this point, Prince William is born, okay? He's been born. He's like, I think 3 months at this point in time. And, when they're on a plane, I think one of the advisors is talking about they're talking about pretty much what is going to happen with the baby once they get to Australia and stuff like that, and how they're going to take the baby and go somewhere with them for like a couple of weeks. She's like, excuse me? And he was like, well, first of all, the baby, Prince Philip is like, well, I'm sorry, Prince Charles is like, the baby wasn't even supposed to come in the first place, we were supposed to be away for 6 weeks, but we're gonna do it so that it's only 2 weeks, and we're making all of these special arrangements for you. You're disgusting, Charles, you're disgusting, and so is your little advisor too. That was her first fucking child, and for y'all to just be like, oh, well, just give the baby up, y'all really pretty much said to her, we know you have a 3-month-old baby, and we know that you have only spent every single waking moment with this baby because you ain't with your fucking husband, and your husband ain't with you. So we're just going to take your child away from you for a couple of weeks, give them to somebody, smooth across the country, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And as she should have, she went the fuck off, because they told her they was going to take her child for 2 weeks. Have y'all lost your mind? Have y'all lost y'all mind? Just because, and we're going to get into it later, just because your mama was stoic as fuck and really didn't give a fuck, that doesn't mean that the next person is not. Like I said, Diana literally, probably up to that point, spent every single waking moment with her child, because what else did she have to fuck into? She's in the house all damn day. She can't go nowhere. Your family don't fuck with her. Your family's weird as hell. She barely probably got to see her family. So, to be inconsiderate like that to a first-time mother is just it's just disgusting to me. It was disgusting to me. But she went off like she should have. Go the fuck off, Diana. You deserve. So, once, they land, they end up taking the baby from her, which that was hard to watch, because oh God, Lord help her. End up taking the baby, and you could tell when she was on a tour, they was going to little press conferences, she did not give a fuck. She was over this whole tour. She wanted to see her damn fucking baby, okay? And so, there's this one little part where they're going up this, I don't know, this mountain or whatever. It looked like it was in the desert or some big ass mountain. Why are y'all climbing this fucking mountain for? I don't understand. And why is the princess climbing this mountain, and what she got on? And he was like, it just didn't make any sense. But she was tired, she wanted to go home. So then we switch back and we see Charles, he's watching a replay of what happened that day on TV, and he's on the phone again with his side piece. And I had to put in all caps, how the fuck are you okay with that? Because he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I wish I was there with you. Da, da, da. And she's like, well, you can talk to me and I'll make you feel better and I'll cheer you up. I just don't understand how you, as a shout out to K Michelle, as a woman, how you can just be okay. You are okay with literally being the side piece. Like, I know a lot of people do it nowadays too, but especially at that time, how could you just be content with the fact that you're really just this nigga's side piece? Like, he can't be with you. He can't fuck you. All he can really do is call you and talk to you. Like, you're literally his emotion fucking side piece, and you're okay with that. Like, Camilla, you got no type of morals, no type of confidence about yourself. You have none of that. None of that, sis. None of it. Where's your morals? Where's your character? Where is your fuck all of that other shit? Where's your self-confidence? You have none. For you to willingly stay in that position as long as you did, it's trifling. It's so disgusting, and it's unbecoming of you as a woman. It's disgusting to me, okay? So then we got Diana. You hear her out arguing, in the hallway with the advisor, and she's snapping out. She's like, I want to see my son. You think this tour messed up? Nah. If I don't see my son, this shit's done. This shit's a wrap. This shit is a whole wrap. And they're like, well, he's all the way across the country. That's even more of a reason for me to go fucking see my son, because he's clear across the country. Go take me to my fucking son. So that's what they did. Took her to go see her son. After she, plays with, her son for a little bit, she comes out and she's like, look, I want to talk to you. And they pretty much have a conversation about Camilla. She pretty much confronts him, about, I don't understand, like, in the nicest way, what is this bitch doing for you that I can't? Before we got married, you did the little bracelet thing for her. Before, after, when we was on our honeymoon, I think she said, like, she found, like, a photograph of her in his diary that fell out. Then she found some love letters, and it's like, bruh, it's non-fucking stop. And Prince, fucking, the hit, I can't even think out. Charles with his bullshit is like, I'm just really, really, really good friends with her husband. Like, why don't you cut the shit? We all know. I think more than anything, that's what pissed me off this whole episode. For you to say, oh, me and her husband are just really, really good friends. You're full of shit. Everybody knows that you was messing around with Camilla. And the fact that you want to walk around and in her face when she knows damn well that y'all used to fuck around and tell her that it's because her husband and you are friends. Why don't you just be a real nigga about the situation and just say, you wanna know what? That's my side bitch. I love her. I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to figure something out. And even Princess Diana said, she's like, so my question is, because you're not being real about it, you want to be so into her, where do I fit in? He's like, well, you're my wife. What the fuck? Clearly that means nothing. And then the thing that really made me mad is the fact that he dead ass just patronized her by saying, like, well, and then she was like, well, where do I fit in? He was like, you're my wife and I love you. And I think the reason that probably caught her off guard because she probably didn't even think that man really loved her. So for him to probably say that probably like made her feel better, because then she was like, oh, and I'm like, no, Princess, don't fucking fall for the fuckery. He probably does love you, but he said that to patronize you and to get you to shut the fuck up. That's what he said it for. Not because he's really gonna make a change or anything like that, but whatever. So they talked about, how they're gonna do better and how, if there's an issue, she'll tell him and vice versa and all this other stuff. So they spend a little bit of time together, they spend a little bit of time, chilling with each other, where her son was and having a couple days together as a family. So then when she comes back, they're cool. They're getting along perfectly fine. They're having fun with each other. It even comes to a point where I think like Camilla like had called or something like that for him, and he was like, no, it's alright, I'm not gonna talk to her today, and everything seemed to be going okay. Then we switch over and we go to Anne, right? Anne and the Queen, they're getting ready for, I don't know what the fuck they're getting ready for, but Anne pretty much puts it out there like, this is not gonna work. Like, this whole little situation right here, it ain't gonna work between them two, because Diana is she's getting more praise than him, and we all know your son, like, he likes attention, he likes to be praised a lot. Don't really know how that's gonna really freaking go down. And I forgot, damn it, what was I just saying before about the conversation that Anne had with Queen Elizabeth about her thing? That's what they was talking about. Sorry, because Anne was talking about how pretty much people was gravitating to Diana because they could tell that, like, she really missed her son or whatever, and it's like regular motherly type of thing. And she said it like in a shady way, and she was like, because sorry, Queen Elizabeth was pretty much trying to make light of how Diana was feeling, like, oh my gosh, I heard she was just like so attached to the baby, like she's like a life raft, like she wouldn't even let him go. And Diana's like, I mean, yeah, she's his, like, that's like, she's the mother, and that's probably why people like her. Like, side eye her, like, girl, everybody's not like you, and just gonna be like, and is so emotionally unattached. That's why people never really fucked with the queen in the first place, because she always came off so emotionally unattached. And again, I know we did like a whole couple episodes on that, the couple, like maybe like a season or two ago, but it's a fact, like, everybody can't be like that. And that's perfect, like she said. And point was, people are gonna fuck with Princess Diana more, and it's not gonna vote out well, because he's not gonna be with it. Like, yeah, you know how Charles is, he's not gonna be with that shit. So, we go on and we're seeing them go here, 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 and there. And as time goes on, you can see that people are starting to get into Princess Diana a little bit more. They prefer her. She's very, like, what is it? She's, like, very charming. And I think they even said that. The family even said that when they first met her. That's why y'all liked her, because y'all said she was very, very charming, okay? They're showing, Charles is like, watching like the news and stuff of them talking about her, and everybody that they're interviewing is pretty much saying that they love her because she seems really, really, really down to earth. And I'm like, see, this is where the male ego comes in, because see, when she first started this trip, okay, you had an attitude because you said she wasn't doing enough and she didn't seem interested into it. Now she is interested in it, and everybody loves her, and so it's a problem. So it was too little, then it was too much, like a little bit too much. So they end up going to like this dinner or whatever, and he was making like little jokes and stuff like that, and she was kind of behind him, she was not laughing at him, she was, like she said, literally like smiling at the stuff that he was saying about her. And when they get back to the hotel or whatever, he starts snapping on her like, oh, everybody was laughing, and it was a very me. This trip was my trip. It was supposed to be about me as the prince. Me. He looked like a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum, because y'all see that video? Like, y'all ever see that video of the little video that's going on about the little girl with the birthday cake and how her sister next to her and blow it out? Like, he was literally acting like the little girl on the side. Like, he was really pissed off that it was not about him. He was so mad that it wasn't about him anymore. So again, like I said, so first it wasn't enough, now it's too much. The male ego was so fragile, and Anne was absolutely fucking right, okay? So then they go and they meet, I don't know, some government official from Australia, and he pretty much talks about how he wanted to get Australia to the point to where like they could be like their own independent situation, how they could get away from the royal family and like everything that like comes with like being underneath like Britain and England, whatever, y'all know what I'm trying to say, being underneath their rule. And how if just Charles would have showed up by himself, oh, he would have had no issue getting that together. Like, everybody would have been with, all right, we need to be on our own. But with Princess Diana being here, because she's so likable, it makes it harder for him to make the case that we need to stand on our own. Okay? And so, so then we see flashes, because Diana, she's starting to feel it, feel the resentment and stuff like that from Charles. And so, she starts throwing up again, eating and throwing up, eating and throwing up, eating and throwing up. So when she finally gets back, when they finally do land, before they separate ways, I'm pretty sure he went to go see Camilla on some weird shit, whatever. So she gets back to the palace. She calls to see the queen, goes up to see the queen, and she pretty much just has a conversation with her about, how, she's like, I don't really know what to do, Charles resents me, and I'm not really sure how to handle it. And off top, Queen Elizabeth is like defensive, and like, I really wish she wouldn't have in this moment. I get it, but I really wish she wouldn't have, because she was like, so what are you trying to say? Like, me, like, I'm not a good mother? Are you trying to say that Prince Philip isn't a good father? She's like, no, I'm not saying any of that. It's a whole bunch of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Triggered. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of the word to say, but the queen was pretty much feeling like, I would say triggered in a sense of, because like, at the end of the day, that a lot of the shit that Anne was saying about y'all not being like very emotional and stuff like that, and being more parents to your son, that's why he acts the way that he acts. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And Diana's just like, look, at the end of the day, I just want to be accepted, and you are the main person, and it seems like you do not accept me, but if you was to accept me, everybody else was to accept me, which I agree to. If Queen Elizabeth was to be a little bit nicer to Princess Diana, everybody else would be, because they would fall in line the way that they're fucking supposed to, right? And so, you know, she's like, I don't want to have this conversation, because, you know, Queen Elizabeth isn't good with emotions. If she get too deep into her emotions, she got to cut it off. So she rings the bell like, no, we need to talk about this another time, another time. So then, you know, Diana goes and she holds her, you know, hugs her, and she's like, she just wants a little something, you know? The family is so damn stoic, and everybody's so fucking uptight. She just wants a little bit of support, a little bit of emotions to be shown. You know, she has been by herself. Like she said, nobody has really offered any type of support. Nobody has been there to help her, to give a guiding hand. When they have their little dinner, she's never even fucking invited. Like when Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret and Anne and the Queen of it, they never fucking invite her. I've never seen her at one of the dinners. Why don't y'all fucking invite her? Y'all rude as hell, okay? And so, so then, you know, then later, you know, Queen Elizabeth, she has a dinner, you know, with, like I said, the people she normally do, Princess Margaret, her mama, and Princess Anne, and she's like, you know, maybe she's right, you know, she's like, maybe she's right, maybe Diana needs to be like the connect between us and the public, because we do have a sort of like disconnect from the public, and I think especially from the like last 2 episodes when the guy broke into her house, she probably starting to notice that more. Like, we're very disconnected from like regular actual people, and maybe she can be, you know, that type of, you know, tie, whatever, you know, but I don't know. And the Queen Mother is like, oh, well, you know, she's just gonna have to learn to fit in, you know, the same way that Philip did, the same way that this person did. And like what's her name said, if she don't bend, like Margaret said, she's gonna break. And that makes me sad. Like, y'all really pretty much are gonna force this girl into a position that she don't need to be forced into, when all y'all have to do is be nice. That's it. All y'all gotta do is be a little nice. Be a little nice. Show a little emotion. Like she said, like the Queen said, y'all don't show no love or no thanks or nothing. If y'all was to just show a little bit of that, y'all probably would go a whole lot further. And Margaret's the only one with some common damn sense about how this should really go. And then for y'all to be like, for the Queen Mother, I think, to be like, oh, well, she'll do it the way that Philip did, just give in. Like, as the Queen Elizabeth, as you being a queen, you should sit there and think about that. Like, look at your husband. Your husband is miserable. Like, Philip was so fucking miserable. He literally, like she said, eventually just gave into the situation that he was in, but he wasn't happy about it. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted on the way that Princess Diana was treated. You know, I'm very disgusted across the board, and I get it. The queen, she could, you know, she has a lot of issues. Her damn self was showing emotion, but they needed to get that together. That's sad. This episode made me sad. It made me very sad. But y'all get in your comments. Y'all get in my comments and me what y'all think. I'm out, bye.